morning, everybody. Happy Tuesday. How's everybody's day going? Hopefully, you're all having a good day. Hopefully, you're having a fantastic week so far. Happy Tuesday to everybody in the chat. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Make sure you all hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, share this channel out with anybody you know. Any support that you give to this channel is greatly appreciated. It does mean the world to me, and I do thank you. And if you're watching this on X or Twitter, come over to YouTube, hit that subscribe button. Let's get involved in the conversations. It's a lot. It's a fun time. It's a great time, and I appreciate all of you. Let's say what's up to the chat. What's going on, CT Cards? Good morning to you. How's it going? How's it going? Stephen B, what's up? We got my guy Ken in the building. What's up, Ken? Good morning, Jonathan. How's it going? Nosebleed section. What's going on, Nosebleed section? Hopefully you're having a good morning. Who else we got? We got Dev Finch. What's up, Dev? How you feeling? And we got my guy Jacob Petruzzi. What's up, Jacob? What's going on, man? And then we also have Nithin Ramachandra from the NR Sports Hour Show. My guy Nithin. Shout out to my guy Nithin. For those of you that don't know, I have an interview coming up with Atlanta Braves pitcher Jesse Chavez at noon on Monday, July 1st, noon Eastern Standard Time. I hope to see all of you there. I'm looking forward to that interview. Quite an interesting career for that guy. I'm definitely interested to get to know him a little bit more. And shout out to my guy Nithin and his team for working their tails off, man, working their butts off every single day, just making, doing events with athletes, getting these interviews set up, man. They are just working all the time. My guy Nithin, and shout out to my guy Nithin. Hopefully you're doing well, man. As always, stay up, my friend. All right. And who else we got? So, yeah, that's who we got right now. But, yeah, shout out to everybody in the chat. Like I said, make sure you all hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, share this channel out with anybody you know. I would greatly appreciate it. And any support that is given to this channel is also appreciated as well. And I thank you for it. It is greatly appreciated. But, let's talk about it, right? The New York Yankees. Now, they have been struggling. There's no denying that. They have been struggling. They just lost their third straight series. This time it was against the Atlanta Braves. Last week they lost a series against the Boston Red Sox. Excuse me. And then they lost against the Baltimore Orioles. They just lost against the Braves. Okay. Now, I don't know about you guys. I don't think pitching is necessarily the issue, although there's been a couple of bad starts from a couple of our starters. It's going to happen. They're going to, there's going to be some slumps. They're going to hit a wall. All right. These things are going to happen. The Yankees are kind of, they're in that struggle. They're on that struggle bus right now, right? They have hit that wall right now. They are struggling, but they are some way, somehow still in first place. They are still in first place, and they're 2 games ahead of the Orioles right now, who also have been struggling too, right? So, the Orioles just got swept by the Astros. They got beat by the Guardians last night. Okay, the Yankees had a day off yesterday. They have a 2-game set against the New York Mets, right, today and tomorrow, which we will get into a little bit later in the show. But again, despite everybody's struggle, or despite the team's struggles, they're still in first place by 2 games. Let me know how you all are feeling. I put out a YouTube short yesterday asking fans, are you all panicking or are you still all optimistic, right? Obviously, we all heard the news of Giancarlo Stanton landing on the IL, so he's going to be out a month, right, with a hamstring strain, which is unfortunate. It would have been the perfect opportunity to bring up Jason Dominguez, right? But he's hurt, Jason Dominguez. Every team, like I said, every team is struggling, right? I don't want to say every team, but every team is going to hit a wall. Like there's going to be times where they're going to be struggling. And I think this is one of those times for the Yankees. I know some fans are a little worried about, whether or not this is going to be a repeat of last season or perhaps 2022 when they had that hot start, but then all of a sudden they collapsed. Or are they going to experience the same? Or are they going to experience the same thing? I think this season, 2024, I think it's a different story. Okay, I think it's a different story. Yeah, they got some guys that are hurt, and hopefully, they get some of those reinforcements back. Right? We talk, talking about the injured players. You still have JT, Brubaker, Scott Efros, who are, they're doing their rehab starts, and hopefully, they'll be back sooner rather than later. I know, Nick Birdie's still on the IL. He just got transferred to the IL. They traded for JD Davis. They needed some depth for the team. They're right now, the Yankees are making some small moves to help them carry them into, to the trade deadline. Hopefully the Yankees can survive now between now and then. And hopefully they do attack the trade deadline the way they're supposed to. So, we'll see what happens, right? But how are you all feeling about this team, though? I want to know from all of you. So let's read the comments here. So Stephen B is saying it was bound to happen. Okay, winning every series isn't sustainable. Besides Judge, Volpe, injured Stanton needs to step up. Yeah, I mean, there's been a few people struggling, right? And I'll bring up a few players, and you all let me know. Okay. CT Card is saying I'm optimistic, but some trades need to be done in the right way and help reshape some aspects of this team. Lucky this happened in June and not later. And so this last sentence right here is key. We're lucky that this happened in June and not later. So I'd rather the Yankees, not that I want them to get injured ever. Injuries, unfortunately, it's part of the sport. Every team experiences it, especially this season. We're seeing the news. I do agree with CT Cards here. I'd rather, if there are going to be injuries, which there are going to be, again, nothing could be done about it. I'd rather the injuries happen now rather than August, September, right? When this team is trying to win the division, or if they're trying to, get into the postseason. I'd rather have a healthy staff, a healthy roster, around August, September, when this team is, playing into the end of the season, trying to get into the playoffs, right? So, hopefully they'll get through these injuries. Hopefully they'll have a full roster by the time August comes around. This team is going to look a little different, I think. And come August, you're not going to see some of the same players. So, we'll see what the Yankees do at the trade deadline. But for now, the Yankees just have to worry about, surviving, right? I don't think it's even a thing of surviving. They just have to worry about winning as many games as possible. All right. So these series, winning these next few series is going to be really important. Okay, because they have the 2-game set against the New York Mets. Then after the Mets, they're going to go fly out to Toronto. They're going to play against the Blue Jays. They got a 4-game set against the Blue Jays in Toronto. So, it's a division rival. So, those games are going to be key. In that 4-game series against Toronto, normally I would say, hey, I'll take a series split on the road. But in my opinion, I think 3 out of 4 is necessary. They have to win 3 out of 4, especially right now, especially with the Orioles being so close. I feel like winning 3 out of 4 is going to be really important. And I see Jared Williams has jumped into the chat. What's up, Jared? How's it going? What's going on? Hopefully you're having a good day. And what's Stephen B saying here? He's saying, I do think playing Wells and Rice would help. Replace Torres. Late inning defense would be ideal. Yeah, well, you said playing Wells more. I know certain people are going to have differing opinions on that. But, that's always a hot topic. Listen, we could argue about Trevino and Wells all day. I mean, we're always going to have that argument. I want to see Wells play more. I do. I really do. And, I'm not trying to say he's better than Jose Trevino, but I do want him to play more. I do want to see him play more. I want him to succeed. I think he has potential. That's what I think. All right. I'm not denying Trevino here, but when we talk about the Yankees catching, though, it's not the greatest right now. So maybe you could potentially move Ben Rice there. I know that's also been talked about too. Again, there's a lot of debate, a lot of options here, and Ken is saying the Yankees have been exposed to left-handed pitching. Yep. And 75% of our season losses have been to lefty power pitchers. No trade's going to fix that low productivity against these types of pitchers. Yeah. So that is one of the Yankees' weakest points, is going up against left-handed pitchers of opposing teams. And oddly enough, right, the Mets are going to have both of their lefties in this series, right? It was supposed to be Luis Severino tonight, but he got moved. So they're starting one of their lefty starters, the Mets. And it's a good strategy. It's a good idea on the New York Mets part, because of the fact that the Yankees have not been hitting well against lefty pitchers, and it is a concern. That's one of their weaknesses right now, is hitting against lefty pitching. So that's an area that they absolutely have to improve on. There's no doubt about that. Yeah, let's go Yankees. Let's outside of Judge and Soto, well, Volpe's been hitting the ball, right? Volpe's been hitting the ball. He's been a lot better this season, right? Some guy, I mean, even Soto as of late, honestly, yes, all season Soto's been consistent. He's been playing well, but even as of late, he's been struggling a little bit. Not as bad as some of the other guys, but he's kind of hit the struggle bus a little bit. He's kind of hit a wall, right? And again, it's going to happen to every great player and every good player, every bad player. Like they're all going to hit walls, some more than others, right? But if there's anybody that is struggling, you got Gleyber Torres. He's been struggling. Alex Verdugo, let's be honest, he's been struggling as of late. DJ LeMahieu, there's no denying he's been struggling as of late. Who else you got? You could say the same thing about Oswaldo Cabrera, although he's not playing a lot ever since DJ's been back. So there's been a few guys that have been struggling. Verdugo's been struggling a little bit as of late. Gleyber Torres has been struggling a little bit as of late. You even have Trevino, he's been struggling as of late. I mean, there's a few guys that are struggling. Some of these guys need to absolutely pick it up. Nosebleed section saying move Torres to designated hitter, play Cabrera at second. Wells and Rice are a given. Yeah, I Torres to DH. I see JD Davis, who the Yankees just traded for. I think he's going to play more of that DH role and play first base. That's why the Yankees traded for him. But we'll see how they utilize him. So to me, I think he's a temporary piece. Okay, and my guy Damian Serrano in the building. What's up, Damian? Mr. Fly Guy himself. What's up, Damian? How's it going? How's the weather, man? What car are you driving today? Hopefully you're doing well, my guy. Excuse me. And exactly, CT Cards. Volpe has improved this season more than I expect. So yeah, you got to give him his props. I mean, he's been, he moved to the leadoff spot. He's adapted well. He's hitting. He's getting on base. So, shout out to Anthony Volpe. He's having a much better season, both at the plate and on the field. So, I'm liking what I'm seeing from him. He's getting on base. He is getting on base. I have no complaints about Anthony Volpe. So I still think Soto is not 100% healthy. I don't know, man. Yeah, you could be right. There's no telling, but I don't know. To be honest with you, CT Cards, if he's not 100% healthy, I wouldn't understand why the Yankees would risk him, especially Soto. Why they would still continue putting him out there. I think he's fine, right? I think he's fine, but I could also very well be wrong on this. Yeah, Damian, he has been struggling all season, no doubt, man. I mean, listen, you all heard me talk about Gleyber Torres a lot. Like, I like Gleyber Torres. I want him to have a great season. He's in a contract year. I don't think the Yankees are going to sign him back. Okay, I don't think the Yankees are going to sign him back. The Yankees are going to go a different direction when it comes to second base. Who that is, I don't know. That's up for debate. But he has been struggling all season. It's unfortunate. I was confident that he was going to have a bounce back. He was going to have another good season because he had a good season last season. I thought he was going to have a great season this year, especially in the contract year. I thought he would have been more motivated, but that's really not the case. And CT Card says Torres is the most consistent, inconsistent player on the Yanks. I couldn't. Yeah, this is so true, man. Well, he's like good one week, bad the next. It's like, okay, which version of Gleyber Torres are we getting? Let's see. Screw Wells and Trevino. Put Rice behind the dish. Wells can't hit. He can't play defense. Trevino can hit, but his defensive isn't great. Internal options are available. I mean, Yankees have a lot of catchers in their farm system, so there is that. So let's see what the Yankees do. Honestly, I know you and I talked heavily about Trevino and Wells there, Ken. I know you and I have talked heavily, but I do see a scenario where the Yankees do move on from Trevino. I know you don't like to hear that. I know you don't want me saying that. And no, it's not because I dislike Trevino and I like Wells better. I just see Wells being on this team, and especially long-term. If the Yankees are thinking long-term, I see them moving on from Trevino. But as I always say, I have been wrong before. Yeah, unfortunately. So at least Walker needs hit more. I think some guys need more rest. Yeah, I mean, he does draw a lot of walks. And it was funny that you mentioned this here, Stephen, because I saw a comment or a tweet on X. Somebody on X said Soto needs to hit more. You can't just be walking. I'm like, well, I'll take the way I see it is a walk is just as good as a hit. If you could get on base, I'm all for it. It's now if you're on base. Now you got to get, when runners are in scoring position, you got to get those runners in. You got to get those RBIs, which is something that the Yankees have been struggling with heavily as of late. Maybe struggling, but yeah. And pitchers are still, being careful with Juan Soto. Absolutely. I mean, why wouldn't you be? He's a generational player, the best bat out there. I don't care what anybody says. He's the best bat out there. I mean, of course they're going to be careful with him, opposing pitchers, that is. Well, as I said, CT Cards, I mean, there's a little bit of a struggle with him as of late. There's no denying that, but every player is gonna good, great, bad. I mean, they're all gonna struggle at some point, right? As great as Soto has been, and he's always been great. There's not a major drop in his performance. He's just as of late, he's been struggling, but I don't think it's anything to be worried about. But that's just me. He was injured and comes back when what we have from. Yeah, I still think Soto is fine though. He's still having good at bats. I don't see I see no issues with him. I really don't. So JD Davis is primarily a first baseman. He does hit left-handed pitching. And that could be a reason why the Yankees traded for him too, right? You mentioned it earlier. The Yankees have been struggling heavily against left-handed pitching. And that's an area that they need to improve in. So we'll see what happens. And no, Jared, no to Jordan Montgomery. That ship has sailed. Nope. I totally would pass on Jordan Montgomery. No, thank you. And Dee's channel, what's up? Dee's channel, what's going on? Thanks for tuning in, man. How's it going? Hopefully you're having a good day. Shout out to you. Shout out to everybody else in the chat. Hopefully you're all enjoying the conversation. I'm loving the interaction with all of you as always. So make sure you all hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Share this channel out with everybody you know. I do greatly appreciate it. I'm on the road to 700 subscribers. Also, make sure you all are hitting the emojis on the bottom right corner there. It does help with the stream, getting the stream out there to other folks. It does help with the YouTube algorithms. If you guys can do that for me, I would greatly appreciate it. All you got to do is just keep tapping on the hearts or any of the emojis that are there. It does help out. So I would greatly appreciate it, and I thank you for it. So, yeah, walks are better than strikeouts. I will take walks over strikeouts any day of the week. That is 100% fact. Yes. Wells, when given chance last year, playing every day, was hitting. Yes, it took a few weeks, but then came around and hitting home runs. I do think he's getting back. Yeah, Stephen B. I know you're not the only one to mention that. I feel that way about Wells too. All right, I think Wells can be a good player. I think Wells can be a good player. If he just needs, I want to see him play more. But I know the Yankees have been playing Trevino a lot more as of late. But again, that we all have our opinions about that. So, how do you think the Yankees will do against the other New York team today? Will we win the next two games coming up? We get Cole on Hill on the mound. Look, man, I like our chances, especially with Garrett Cole and Luis Hill. Cole made his season debut last week against the Orioles. He had a good outing. Luis Hill got smacked around. That was his worst game of the season thus far. Let's hope that he has a better outing against the Mets. Luis Hill. I like our chances. I do like our chances, but what I'm worried about, and we talked about it, Dee's channel, is the Yankees lineup versus lefty, the lefty pitching, because the Mets, they have two lefty pitchers starting in both games, so I'm a little concerned about that. So they have to play well against the lefties, against the lefty pitchers. So that's what's worrying me. But really, I think they should be able to take both games. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they took one of those games. And the Mets, as of late, they've been on a roll. So we'll see what happens, man. It's hard to say. It's hard to predict these things, but with Garrett Cole and Luis Hill on the mound, I like our chances. But our lineup is going to be kind of a mixed bag right now, especially with Giancarlo Stanton being on the IL. He's going to be gone a month. So, there's certain names that absolutely have to pick it up. Like I mentioned, Verdugo, obviously Torres, Trevino, Wells, like these guys have to pick it up. DJ LeMahieu is another name, right? They got to perform. So that's all there is to it. You can't just rely on Volpe, Soto, and Judge. These other guys have to step up. The organization appeal for Wells is long-term controllability and left-handed stick. He can't catch, move him to first, put Rice behind the dish. Well, I don't, I hear what you're saying there, Ken, but in all honesty, I don't see Wells at first base. I don't think that's going to happen. I think they're going to put him at the dish. I see what you're saying. I'm not opposed. Obviously, I'm definitely not opposed to putting Ben Rice at behind the dish, but I can't see Wells playing first. I see Ben Rice playing first over Wells. That I see happening. So. No, all good, Dee's channel. You're saying that, you missed a convo earlier. I hope we can hit against lefties. We're in a funk right now. Yeah, hopefully, man. I mean, right now the Yankees are making some temporary moves. They're making some small moves right now to kind of help them out till the trade deadline. They're just filling in holes right now. So as of late, they've been picking up, some bullpen help. just trying to get some fresh arms because the bullpen is a little depleted right now. They're very limited in what they have, so they're getting some fresh arms, and those fresh arms have been helping, right? And they called up Yoandris Gomez, who he pitched well against the Orioles, even though the Orioles smashed the Yankees in that game, but there was good help from Yoandris Gomez, so they're just making these small moves just to help them carry them through the All-Star break and through the trade deadline. We'll see how aggressive the Yankees are going to be, in which, guys like Buster Olney and Ken Rosenthal have both said that they are told that the Yankees are going to be aggressive. So we'll see what happens. Yeah, Ben. I want to see Ben Rice at first too. I'm not opposed to him. Obviously, I'm not opposed to him being a catcher because he's also a catcher. We'll see though, right? I like how he's played at first so far. Personally, I like how he's looked at first base. I like his approach to the plate. There's a lot of potential there with Ben Rice. I like Ben Rice. Oh, we got my guy D-Rod in the building. Good morning, D-Rod. How's it going, my friend? He is out of the closet, people. He is out of the closet. He has broken that door. He's got to go fix it again. So shout out to my guy D-Rod. What's up, bro? How's it going? Lou, what's up, Lou? How you living, man? How's Tuesday treating you? Cole isn't the Cy Young a pitcher last year. The plus is the new bullpen arms are rested and can support Cole. How many pitches do you think Cole is going? Out of curiosity, Ken. The other thing Yankees need to do is play Grisham more in the outfield while giving Soto, Verdugo, and Judge more days off. They playing a lot of games in a row. Yeah, but, Judge technically, I guess you could say he gets a day off because they do put him in the DH role. He's still playing, but he's just not playing the outfield. So I guess it's not a day off. He's still playing, but he's not playing the outfield. Verdugo, he had a day off just recently. Soto, yeah, you could, but he's not a guy that you want to give a day off to. He's a guy that wants to go out there and play every day. Maybe you could put him in a DH role in some of these games. But I do like Grisham in the outfield. The Grisham in the outfield has been great. His approach at the plate, he's patient. He's not known for his bat, but although, there's times where he hits, he does hit, he does surprise us. I don't mind Trent Grisham. I think Trent Grisham is a good bench piece. He's the best bench piece so far. So, let's get to more of the comments here. Wells needs more playing time. He will get better. You cannot say his defense is worse than Trevi, who has allowed a small village to steal his bases lately. But yeah, so there's also that argument, nosebleed section. Of course, there are people saying that the pitchers are not holding the runners on base. There's also that argument. Let me know what you think about that. How do you feel about that? There's differing opinions on that. Good one. Good starts from Cole and Hill and the offense waking up. I see both games with us winning, but it's baseball. Anything could happen. 100% facts on that. Oh, sweet. Okay, you're going to the game today. Cool, dude. That should be a lot of fun. You'll have to let us know how the game is or how it was, man. Because I've been to 2 Subway Series games in my life. So one was in 2001 at the old Shea Stadium. 2001 at the old Shea Stadium. And then I went in 2002 at the old Yankee Stadium. Both times I had a blast. And guess what? They won both of those games. So let's go. 85 pitches from Cole. Yeah, we'll see. He should be able to go 80 to 85. I don't see why not. Looks like the Yanks plan maybe to platoon Rice and Davis at first base and platoon DJ and Cabrera at third base. I could see that. That's entirely possible. Most definitely. Yankees have put 2 catchers, Ramirez and Rice, at first. Why not Wells? I don't know. Wells has said he doesn't like playing first base. I'm not, maybe the Yankees can convince him maybe he could play first. It's possible, but I'm not necessarily opposed to it. I just don't see it happening. Sorry to hear, Jared. My condolences there, bud. My condolences. Sorry, dude. Everybody send your positive thoughts to Jared. So Ken's saying 80 pitches. That's kind of what I was expecting. 80 to 85. Soto is a 162 type of player, man. There's no way that guy is going to be, just a guy that's going to want a day off. I don't see that personally. I don't see it. So, I mean, there might be that rare occasion he might get a day off, but that's a guy that wants to be playing every day. Nosebleed section said Cole will only throw 70 to 75 pitches today. We'll see what happens. Good morning, Joan. No, you're not late. You're not late. You're right on time. You're good. You're good. Ironic that we lost against the O's, but people were talking smack about the O's beating Houston. Those fans are real quiet now. Yeah. Well, look, let's be honest. The Orioles are a great team. There's no denying that. I expected them to smash the Astros, but the opposite happened. They got swept by the Astros. They got beat by they got beat yesterday by the Guardians. So, and the Yankees are 2 games ahead. Despite the Yankees' struggles, these guys are still in first place. It's crazy. Wells played Saturday with no issues, and Stroman did well. They didn't start Sunday due to lefty starter. Yeah, this is true. This is true. So there is that, but again, there's always that debate with Austin Wells and Jose Trevino. I know some people like Jose Trevino better. Other folks like Austin Wells better. I think I like to see an opportunity more with Wells. I think he can be good. Now, listen, if it turns into a thing where, in his 3rd or 4th season with the Yankees or whatever, like if he's not performing, yeah, then there might be some questions that need to be asked. All right. I think there needs to be questions that need to be asked. So no doubt about that. So we'll see what happens. It's the offense, the bats. The bats are not coming through. And the Orioles are a good team. It's just the Yankees bats are just not performing. That right now their bats have been struggling as of late. That's been the issue. Does Wells like being a major leaguer? If his bosses tell him to pick up a first base glove, he does it. Yankees aren't Burger King. You don't get it. Yeah, well, listen, if that's what I'm saying, I don't see Wells playing first base, but if they do ask him to play first, I don't think he'll say no, but I don't see it happening. I like Ben Rice better at first base than I do Austin Wells. You got to give him a chance, right? And it's just like Jones saying, you got to give him a chance like Volpe, right? Nobody like Volpe, and I've said it a million times, this guy, when he did not play well last season and it was his rookie season, Yankees fans were already some Yankees fans were already ready to like kick him out, kick him off the team. So the White Sox assigned Top Scots to focus on the Padres, Dodgers, and Mariners farm systems per The Athletic. Why not Yankees? The Yankees need trade for lefty, Crochet, first base, Vaughn. Well, I like the idea of Garrett Crochet. I do like Garrett Crochet. He is a starter. I like. I would have been great for him to be a relief pitcher because that's what he was originally. He was a reliever, but then the White Sox converted him to a starter. Um, would I like to get Garrett Crochet? Yes, but I don't think he'd be a bullpen guy, and it would cost the Yankees a lot. I don't know how much prospects the Yankees are willing to give up for Garrett Crochet. I'm not necessarily opposed to Vaughn, but I I think the Yankees are going to stick with Ben Rice since they called him up. They're going to stick with him and JD Davis, who they just traded for. So, um, just to throw it out there. So, and when it the as far as Padres, Dodgers, and Mariners, I mean, at least with the Dodgers, I know they got a good farm system. They developed some good talent there. I can't say for the Padres and Mariners. I don't know too much about their farm system, but the the Dodgers, though, I mean, they're always they have a team that could develop young players, no doubt. So, JD Davis, I think he will. He's going to be primarily playing first base. He'll probably be DHing. I think he that's what mainly he'll be doing. So I think they'll play him and Ben Rice at first base. I think that's what's going to happen there. So I don't know. We'll see though, but it's going to be this next month is going to be really interesting. June, it's still June, right? I'm not again, I'm not panicking over this team. I'm still feeling optimistic, even with some of the injuries, even with some of the struggles. Every team is going to go through it. Right now, the Yankees are going through it. So, and the Orioles are even struggling right now too. Again, they got swept by the Astros and they just got beat by the Guardians. The Guardians are a good team. They're in first place in their division in the AL Central. So, D-Rod, what do we got here? He's saying overall MLB and offense has been down, lowest production since 1968, the year of the pitcher. Oh, interesting fact. Thanks for sharing that. Appreciate you sharing that. But as we know, like the Yankees now, they have the Subway Series, right, against the New York Mets. It's a 2-game set at CitiField. How are you guys feeling about it? How are you guys feeling about the Yankees playing against the Mets in these 2 games? Are you guys thinking Yankees are going to play well? Like, do you think they'll win both games? Do you think is there a possibility they could lose both games? Do they win one of them? What do you all think? There's nothing wrong with Rice. I like the kid. He has a great approach to hitting, attacks the ball aggressively, and has a high, hard hit rate. I just don't see a rookie being Rizzo's replacement. Well, I mean, we gotta give him a chance. I mean, he just came up so far. Again, I like what I'm seeing from him, but let's see what he does. I mean, maybe he is Rizzo's replacement at this point. I mean, I'm gonna go ahead on a limb and say that he is Rizzo's replacement. Rizzo's best days are behind him, unfortunately. I like Anthony Rizzo, but I think his age and health has caught up with him. I hate to say that, but I think Anthony Rizzo's days are over as a Yankee after this season. Of course, that's what I think. And prior to him getting injured, I mean, Rizzo was struggling heavily. So, just wanted to see a good start from Cole. I'm not expecting a Cy Young outing by any means, but a clean start would take my edge off. Agreed. I like our chances. Mets are struggling too. Hope we could sweep. I mean, Mets have been a little bit better as of late, but we'll see what happens. Yeah, I mean Rizzo's not going to be here next year, so that's a fact. I don't see it happening. They're not going to pick up his option. CT Cards, and I like to see he'll come back for his past 2 starts and bring it. Yeah, that Hill needs to bounce. He needs a bounce back. He's done with the Yankees. I like the unfortunately his best days are behind him, man. Prior to the injury, he has been struggling. He was grounding out a lot. He was, unfortunately, I hate to say it, but he was an automatic out. So his best days are behind him, man. I hate to say it, but he's not going to be back with this team next season. I don't see the Yankees picking up his option. And Gregory Wayne, hello to you. Managing the lineup moving forward is a major concern. And where did this talk of Wells playing first base come from? That was a suggestion from our friend Ken. Because there's always the debate at least in this chat, in this live stream, of Austin Wells behind the dish versus Jose Trevino. And, maybe you could, and he was suggesting moving Ben Rice behind the dish and then playing Austin Wells at first. I don't see it personally. I can't see Austin Wells playing first. But again, you could talk. You and Ken can have the debate. So I would. Hey, listen, I wouldn't mind Anthony Rizzo as a coach. I think he would make for a great coach personally. That's what I think. Who would I rather have between who? Who are you talking about there, Jared? Yeah, I would love to have Anthony Rizzo as a coach. Absolutely, 100%. Yes, indeed. Yeah, and unfortunately, again, Rizzo, he's up there in age, and the Yankees do need to get younger. Honestly, I'd rather go Ben Rice. I'll just go ahead and say it. Like I said, I think Anthony Rizzo's best days are behind him, man. I'd rather go Ben Rice. We got talent in the farm system. We might as well utilize them. So, yeah, I'd rather see Ben Rice at this point. Let's see what we got in him. Why not? Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I hear you. So send Ben Rice or Austin Wells back to AAA. What's up, Sunil? And then bring up Rumfield and put Rice behind the plate. That could be an option. I mean, Rumfield is more of a first baseman than Rice, no doubt. Rice has the better bat. That's why he was brought up. But Wells being sent back to AAA, we'll see. I don't know if the Yankees do that, but we'll see what happens. Oh God, D-Rod, yeah. And Yanks do believe in Wells long term, yeah, and they have spoken very highly of Austin Wells. So if the Stars can keep the Mets to 3 or less runs, the offense hopefully picks up and the boys could win. Yeah, 100%. Yeah. The Yankees can score runs. They've just been struggling as of late, especially with guys on base. So, they could hit. The Yankees bats are not like completely bad. They get the hits, they get men on base, but they just struggle to score with men in scoring position. So that's something that the Yankees have to absolutely execute, right? We'll see what happens in this series. Again, they're going up against 2 lefty starters, right? I know one of them is Manea, and he's pitching tomorrow for the Mets against Luis Hill. And then in today's game, It's going to be Garrett Cole versus David Peterson. So that's going to be the matchups. All right. Bottom of the order, a train wreck. Yeah, unfortunately, the bottom of the order is a problem. It's a big problem. So the closet jokes are here. And so I want to. So let me ask this question to all of you, because I mentioned some of the struggling players, right? I did mention Alex Verdugo, obviously Gleyber Torres, Trevino has been struggling as of late. Any players that you want to see improvement from? Are there any players that you see struggling that you want to see improvement from? Any of the ones that I named, or are there other names that you all are thinking of that you have in mind? Let me know. Let me know in the chat. Type your comment and type your answers. Give me your answers, and let's discuss it. What's up, Albert? Since Rice is showing promise at first, was getting older. J.D. Davis, first baseman, versus getting a third and second base helped the best idea. Wait, so. Well, Albert, again, I think these are just temporary. These are just temporary moves right now, just to help this team fill in some holes. Because the Yankees do have some holes at the moment, right? Especially with Giancarlo Stanton hurt right now. He's going to be out a month, so who knows when he's going to be back. But they could plug J.D. Davis. They're going to plug J.D. Davis at first base. He's probably going to play DH as well. So these are just temporary moves at the moment. They're going to get. I don't know who they're going to get for second base, what they're going to do for second base. I mean, as of right now, Gleyber Torres is at second base. I don't see a replacement for him. Third base, I feel like they will address who that's going to be. I don't know, Albert. There's been a few names mentioned. That guy Rengifo he could be an option. I wouldn't mind having him. I know a lot of folks have mentioned Ryan McMahon. I wouldn't mind Ryan McMahon. However, I don't see the Rockies trading him. Then the Rockies aren't going to trade him. So. Yeah, you're not wrong here, Sunil. Although I'm opposed to it. I don't want to see DJ LeMahieu in both games, just because of the fact that he's been struggling. I'd rather not see him in both games. He hasn't been hitting well. He hasn't even had an extra base hit. I mean, come on, For the folks wanting to crochet, the White Sox want starting pitching prospects. If we were to make a play for him, you can count Warren and Hampton in the package. I'm not willing to let them go. I can't speak for other fans, but absolutely not. Yeah, this is also true too. Exactly, D-Rod. And yeah, you bring up an excellent point. And the league saw that the Yankees were hitting well in May. They did adjust. And other teams saw what the Yankees were doing. And teams like the Red Sox, I hate to say it, they adjusted, right? The Orioles did what they did. The Braves did what they did. Right now, the Mets, they're making their adjustments. Tonight, it was supposed to be Luis Severino, but it's not Luis Severino. It's Peterson, right? Who is David Peterson, yeah, who's starting tonight, who's a lefty pitcher. Absolutely, no doubt. Opposition from you and me, both my last comment, please don't bring back the 2023 mindset with this supposedly better roster. Well, I don't want it to be 2023 again. I don't. I really don't think the Yankees are trying to approach this season like they did 2023. I really think they're they're if they're all in, because they are trying to win a World Series this year. I mean, especially with Juan Soto on this team, and they want to make an impression. Obviously, they want to bring Juan Soto back, and I know Juan Soto. He likes being with this team. You can tell. I think he'll be a New York Yankee, but yeah, I don't think the Yankees are approaching 2024 like they did 2023. And we got Anna Marie in the building. What's up, Anna Marie? What's going on? How are you? Subway Series, baby. That's right. Let's go Subway Series. Let's go Yankees. Let's get both wins. My point exactly. If it were 2023, Ben Rice wouldn't have been called up. They would have just had JD Davis play first and then have Ben Rice continue playing at the minors. Yeah, I mean, with Stanton going down, the Yankees can platoon Judge, Soto, and Grisham between. Yeah, absolutely. So there's some there's some options there, right? The Yankees, again, even with their recent struggles, they have backup plans. They're better set up this season than where they were last season. Whereas last season, players were getting hurt, especially with Judge when he was out for 2 months. The Yankees had nothing. They only had Gleyber Torres, and he can't do it all on his own. So Yankees had no one. This season, they're better. They're in a better situation. So they can move guys around and they can play around with the lineup a little bit more. I know the lineup as of late hasn't been very consistent, but now they're going to have to shuffle it up a little bit, especially with Giancarlo Stanton not being in the lineup. Obviously, as we said, he's out for a month. But right now, I do think that the Yankees offense needs to pick it up. They do need to turn it around, especially with Giancarlo Stanton's absence. It's unfortunate because it's inevitable, right? Giancarlo, he's going to get hurt. It's like you can count on him getting hurt. We don't like to say these things, but this was something that Brian Cashman said in the offseason about Giancarlo. A lot of fans have were pissed about what Brian Cashman said about Giancarlo, but he was telling the truth. He was telling the truth. Unfortunately, the guy you can count on him getting hurt. It's just the way it goes sometimes. So, but he was having a good year. He had 18 home runs. He was up there with Soto and having the same amount of home runs. So, Giancarlo was having a good season prior to his injury. So, and I think when he comes back, I think he'll be fine. And not to mention we want him healthy come August, September. We want him healthy because he's especially going into the playoffs. We want this guy healthy because he does a great job in the postseason. He's got good numbers. Gleyber won't re-sign either. Even IKF is having a better season than Gleyber. He's making, yeah, no doubt. Well, Glaber's not being brought back there, right here, channel. I think most of us fans can agree on that. So I don't believe he will be back on this team. Yeah, he was. Cashman was absolutely right Cashman was absolutely right about Giancarlo Stanton. He was right. I mean, it's inevitable. Lou, that's that excellent question. I don't know. I'm interested to see what the Yankees are going to do for second base next season. Do they put Peraza there? Do they put Vivas? Do they call up Caleb Durbin? I mean, it can't be Gleyber. I mean, right now, there's no option. I mean, yeah, you could probably put Oswaldo Cabrera at second base, but I don't know. I don't see the Yankees doing that. But I don't know I don't know who would be the replacement for Glaber next year. That's a good question. I'd imagine it'd have to be somebody in the farm, like some of the guys that I just mentioned. It could be Vivas, it could be Peraza, maybe Caleb Durbin. It could be one of those guys replacing Glaber Torres. But yeah, DJ can play second. Yeah, Sean Browning, you're not wrong there. But again, it's just I hate to say it, but yeah, DJ's on the wrong side of 30, and he's still an excellent defender. He could play the field, no problem, but his bat's the issue. So yeah, DJ can absolutely play second. That's an option as well. What's up, Daniel Berry Sports Highlights? Shout out to you, Daniel Berry Sports Highlights. Make sure you guys subscribe to Daniel Berry Sports Highlights. He does a good job with his channel. He's always uploading, so he's always working. He's always working. So shout out to Daniel Berry Sports Highlights. Hopefully you're doing well, man. Might be replacing the entire infield minus shortstop. Yeah. I mean, third base. I mean, it's a definite. Second base is a definite. First base. Yeah, you'll see maybe Ben Rice, or you could see TJ Rumfield. Those are possibilities. Shortstop, that's Anthony Volpe's position. He ain't going nowhere. We already know that. Injuries have plagued DJ LeMahieu. Yeah, the injuries have set him back a lot. On his foot injuries. It's unfortunate. Yeah, DJ, like I said, I was hoping for a good season for DJ LeMahieu, only because of the fact that last season, in the second half of the season, he started to come around. He was hitting a lot better, especially when Sean Casey took over as the hitting coach. He was looking a lot better. I was hoping for the same thing this season, but it hasn't happened, and I don't know that it will. Yeah, Lou, I know you've been saying DJ's done. There's been a lot of people saying that DJ's done, and he might be done. He might be. Who knows? Do I think it's possible that the Yankees DFA DJ and use someone from the farm system or get someone from the trade deadline? I don't see him getting DFA'd this season, right? Because DJ's what? He's got 2 or 3 years left on his contract. I could see maybe if he has like 1 year left, I could see the Yankees moving on from him. They won't be able to trade him. They're not going to get anything back for him, even if they try. Even if they were to try to trade him. And he's a 5'10" guy too, so it's going to be a little tough to trade him if they try to trade him. Jared, that's fine. It's not about giving up on DJ. Sometimes players. Sometimes it just doesn't work out, man. He's not an everyday player anymore. I'd rather him come off the bench. He's not a guy that could play every day. I'd rather him come off the bench. He's a utility guy. That's what the Yankees had signed him for initially. So, my guy Brian Gustin, what's going on, Brian? How you doing? Hopefully you're having a good day. What's going on, man? Yeah, he's on the. It sucks. 2 years left with DJ after this year, right? I'm pretty sure it's 2 years. Yeah, it is 2 years. So, I think after this year it's 2 years. So I can't see the Yankees DFAing him. I see them DFAing DJ when he has like 1 year left. That I can see. Right now the Yankees they're stuck with him. I know the whole giving him a 6-year contract was a mistake, but they gave him the 6 years so they can lower his AAV. 15 million. They could have been paying him more than 15 million, which, if they were paying him more than 15 million, that would have been a mistake. I want a DJ pre-contract. I'll be honest with you, because what other options did they have at that time? That's the question. DJ is no longer an everyday player. His hitting woes continue, or because his bat speed is slow and he isn't catching up to fastballs. Yeah. This is 100% true. 100% true. So, well, yeah, he's 35, 36. Either way, he's on the wrong side of 30. Yeah. Yeah, he turns 36 in July. Yeah. CT Cards is saying we see one more season with DJ, and we got to hope he gets well in the offseason, comes back looking much better. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. If he doesn't show any type of improvement this season, I don't know about next season. It's hard to say. He had a great career. He did, but it's taking a little bit of a dive right now. So, what's up, Will Star? Good morning to you. What's going on? What is going on? Yeah, well, the hip flexor, and then his injury to his foot. That it's those injuries have plagued him, so it has slowed him down. If it weren't for those injuries, I feel like he could be a good player. Yeah, LeMahieu's under contract for 2025 and 2026 at $15 million per year. Correct. So I see him, in 2026. Honestly, I could see the Yankees moving on from him. I could see the Yankees DFAing him potentially. They're not going to be able to trade him. They're not going to be able to trade him. So, they're not. And even if they did try to trade him, they're not going to get anything of value back. Right. So, I could see 1 year left on his contract. Yeah, I could see the Yankees moving on from him. Boy, I would love that, man. I would love that if you could find resurgence like Matt Carpenter. I would love to see that. The fans have amnesia. Back in April and early May, everyone was claiming that Judge had peaked and was done. Fans were giving his captaincy to Soto. Yeah. Well, there was some fans who definitely were traders. They were sellouts, big time. I knew Judge was in a slump. A lot of us knew Judge was in a slump. A lot of us knew that Judge was going to bounce back, and he absolutely did. So those fans could go kick rocks. Yeah. And I don't know. I still don't understand why a lot of folks are talking about DFAing Giancarlo Stanton. It doesn't make sense to me. Like, why are they going to DFA a guy that's still owed $98 million? And the Marlins are going to kick in his contract here. So, this whole thing with DFAing Stanton, I don't get that. It makes zero sense to me. I don't get that. I really don't get that. Yeah, if it's like Sean brought up his hip flexor. If it wasn't for his hip injuries and his injuries to his foot, he'd be a better player. But injuries plagued him. Oh, we got my guy Maza in the building. What's up, Maza? How's it going? Good morning to you, man. Hopefully you're having a good day. Shout out to my guy Maza. He had Brandon Puffer on the show. I was able to join him, and we had a good conversation with Brandon Puffer. If you guys haven't yet, go to his channel and go check it out. It was a great time. Make sure you guys subscribe to the Ford Train Express. Let's try and get him to 600 subscribers. Make sure you guys hit the subscribe button for my channel. Let's get this channel to 700 subscribers. I would love to get there as quickly as possible. I appreciate all your guys' support. I really do. Any support that you all give to this channel It is greatly appreciated. The likes and the subscribe buttons, I mean, those help me out tremendously. And then hitting the emoji button at the bottom there, on the bottom right corner there, does really help out the channel too, especially with the YouTube algorithms. I don't know, YouTube's algorithms are a little funny. There's times it's like, you'll see stuff from YouTube, you'll see certain things, and all of a sudden it like disappears. So I don't know, it's weird. And for those of you that don't know what I'm talking about, there's that heart button on the bottom there. You see that heart? If you guys just tap that heart, right, it does help out with the channel. It does help the live stream get out there. So if you click that and you can hit any of those emojis, it does help out. So if you guys can do that for me, I would greatly appreciate it. Yeah, well, Yankees fans gotta love it, man. It's like as soon they like to. I mean, forget Judge. I mean, remember when they were booing Derek Jeter when he was on that slump? That was crazy back then. That 20 years ago. Yeah, D-Rod, I'm yeah, right back to you. But yeah, I know D-Rod wants to badly use it. He'll probably put it in the chat though. Yeah, I know you remember that, but yeah, I mean, Yankees fans, as we know, they are absolutely brutal. They're absolutely brutal. We've already discussed this many times. When a player isn't performing well, they will talk trash. I mean, New York fans, I mean, yeah, we could be pretty brutal sometimes. Also, I mean, New York fans aren't as bad as Philly. Philly fans are brutal. No matter what sports team, it could be Eagles fans, Phillies fans. Those guys get a little brutal. So, but it is what it is. What are you going to do? It's one of those things where if you're playing for the Yankees, you're expected to perform. And especially, with Judge, again, it's one of those things with Judge. We knew he was gonna bounce back. He just was struggling in the beginning of the season, but a lot of us knew that Judge was gonna play well. Torres. As far as Torres, like I said, I like Gleyber Torres. I do like Gleyber Torres. I'm a fan of Gleyber Torres. I like Rizzo. I like LeMahieu. But I want these guys to play well, but we also have to point out the reality of these guys too. Torres, a lot of folks were saying they should have traded him when they had the chance. They could have traded him, but they could have traded him in a couple of seasons ago with the Marlins, but then the Marlins wanted Oswald Peraza in that deal for Pablo Lopez, and the Yankees said no. They pulled out of that deal, so it almost went down. And we got Frederick in the building. What's going on, Frederick? Yeah, exactly. I like DJ. I really do. I liked him when he was with the Rockies. The guy had an excellent bat. He's great defensively. He had a lot of talent, but yeah, age catches up. Age catches up. It does. Jeter had a similar slump as Judge. Started the season for about 6 weeks. Only time I boo is when players don't hustle, play with focus. I'm looking at you, Gleyber. Yeah. You're not wrong there, man. You're not wrong there. People keep referring to this team. It is the same team as last year. We had a ridiculous number of injuries and no outfield. This isn't that team. The freaking sky isn't falling. No. And I mentioned that earlier in the stream there, Ken. This isn't the 2023 Yankees. This is the 2024 Yankees. Despite having these injuries, despite having these struggles, they are better set up with options that they have there. They have a lot more depth on this team, so they're making some moves. They're not big, attractive moves. They're just, temporary moves right now to help carry this team into the All-Star break, to help them carry this team into the end of July when the trade deadline comes around. So this team come August, it's going to be a different team. There's going to be some guys that are not going to be on this team. You might see you'll see some new faces. So, but as soon as a loss happens or an injury happens to any of the, players, it's like the fans lose hope, and then they, they just act like it's the end of the world. So that's right, Anna Marie. We're a different beast in the East. We'll be fine. Yeah, the Yankees are going to be fine. They'll be good. They're going to be fine. I'm not worried about it. Now, come August, September, if this team is struggling, yeah, I'll be worried. I'm not going to lie. I'll be worried. There's a reason to worry. But yeah, this team, hopefully by then they have a healthy roster. Everybody's playing well. Everyone's clicking. And they go into the postseason with with a fire under their butts. Make it happen. So hopefully they go into the postseason hot. That's what we want. Need compacted hit player. Caleb Durbin, Ben Coles. You talking about for next season there, Frederick? Because we were talking about earlier with Caleb, with second base, what happens with second base if Torres is not brought back. So, I brought up Caleb Durbin. He could be playing there. They were saying the same, DJ LeMahieu could play there, or, you could potentially bring up Peraza or Vivas. I mean, those guys are options. Ben Coles, he could be an option. I mean, you're not wrong there. Yeah, we don't have the Fantastic Four and the Three Musketeers. Yeah, I know Durbin's not. I know he's injured. I was talking for like next season though, not necessarily this season. I don't see anybody replacing Glaber at second base this season, if I'm being honest. Unless he gets hurt, unless he has a major injury, then that could be a possibility. Right. Yes. Yeah, and that's the other thing. That any acquisition that the Yankees make, there's 110% tax penalty. Right? Every player who's DFA'd, their cash is still on the books. Yeah, exactly, and it is. It is. So this is, again, it's one of those things where a lot of fans were suggesting DFAing Giancarlo Stanton, which I think is asinine. I don't know what's with that obsession, but all for let's bring up Jason Dominguez, but at $98 million, that's expensive. Yeah, they're still paying Aaron Hicks, unfortunately. Yeah, I believe it's a broken bone in Caleb Durbin's hand. I believe that's what the injury is. So, but this next month is going to be interesting for the Yankees as far as what how they perform and the teams that they play against, because this month certainly was not an easy schedule. I mean, they're playing the Mets today and tomorrow, and then they're going to play the Blue Jays to close out the month. And then when you look at July, right, just to kind of give you a little preview, they're starting the month of July. They have a 3-game set against the Cincinnati Reds. They'll be coming to Yankee Stadium. Then they have a 3-game set against the Red Sox at Yankee Stadium. Then they go on the road. They have a 3-game set against Tampa Bay. and then they go to Camden Yards to play against Baltimore. Then they have the All-Star break. And then Tampa Bay comes into Yankee Stadium. And then the Mets visit Yankee Stadium for a 2-game set. Then they go to Fenway, then Philadelphia at the end of the month. So July, not looking so easy. Not looking so easy. July is going to be another tough month of games for the New York Yankees. It is. They got a tough schedule ahead of them. So far this whole season, they haven't had an easy schedule, but they're still holding their own. They're still in first place some way, somehow, despite their recent struggles. Gotta love it too. They're 2 games ahead. I mean, my goodness, they got to start winning games though. They got to start winning games. Have to. So it'll be fun to see Bader again. Oh yeah, it'll be fun to see him. I liked Harrison Bader. I know, again, injuries were a problem, but I liked them. Yeah, that's what I think too. I think the Yankees will probably split the series. I have to agree with that. But how awesome would it be for them to lose or not lose, but to win both games? That would be awesome, especially heading to Toronto on a 4-game set. Yes, Sunil, they lost to the Guardians yesterday. The Guardians have actually been playing some good baseball. They're playing great. So yeah, they lost yesterday. Yeah, watch out for the Reds. They got some guys that could play. Yeah, O's faced Hill second time and hit him hard. Let's see how Hill adjusts to getting hit or for first. Yeah, well, that's a big test, right, D-Rod? I mean, that outing against the Orioles was his worst outing so far this season. That was terrible. It happens, but tomorrow's game, let's see how he bounces back. That'll be a test, because coming back from a loss, man, to go back on a mound, it's not an easy thing to do. It's not an easy thing to do. Yeah, their schedule first half is ridiculous. I mean, the second half, I'll check here in a moment. I think the Yanks have the most home games remaining on schedule thus far. Yeah, like looking at August and September, they do have a lot of home games, right? So if you look at August, they're going to start off with Toronto at home, the Angels coming to town, the Texas Rangers coming to town. Then they go to Chicago to play the White Sox. After the White Sox, they play Detroit in Detroit. Then after Detroit, Cleveland comes into town on a 3-game set. And then the Rockies come into town and play the Yankees on a 3-game set. Then they go to Washington to play the Nationals. Then they host St. Louis. So now in September, they're going to go to Texas to play against the Rangers. Then they're going to go to Chicago to play against the Cubs. Then they host KC. Then they will host Boston on a 4-game set. Then they have a West Coast trip there in the 3rd week of September, Seattle, then Oakland. Then to close out September, to close out the regular season, they're going to host Baltimore, then Pittsburgh. So not as crazy. The schedule is not as crazy. So the second half, they can come out. They can end the second half and end the season on a with success. There's teams that are definitely beatable, but there's teams that they got to show up. They got to show up to win against you, especially against the Orioles, against the Red Sox. They got to show up against these teams. So I agree, Anna Marie. The Yankees could stay afloat until the end of July. The schedule in August looks a lot easier. Yeah, it really does. It really does. Yeah, I mean, adversity. You gotta. Every player, every team is going to experience adversity, And if you're able to bounce back, if you're able to overcome that adversity, you can do. There's so much that you can do. And Hill and Rodon, they'll be back. They'll be back. When the Red Sox comes to town, Wells will be on a dish. When the Red Sox run against him, what are fans going to say then? Dump Wells, send him down, fan look. Yeah, well, we'll see. We'll see what happens if that goes down, right? Because the Red Sox are going to run on him. They ran on Trevino, so they'll run on Wells. Freaking D-Rod. Consider making a trip to Texas around Labor Day. New York Yankees are here. Yeah, I saw that on the schedule. Yeah, maybe, man. We'll see. Yeah, both Hill and Rodon need to pitch backwards, run secondary pitches early. Yeah, I could get behind that. Definitely. But, but that's what we got, though, folks. Cold predictions. I won't give my predictions yet. I got a pregame coming up later this afternoon. So I'm going to save my predictions and my commentary for that. So if you're able to join, Anna Marie, love to see you there. But I'll save my predictions for now. I'll save it for the pregame. Hey, what's up, Allie? You think the Yankees will sweep the Mets? Let's go, Yankees. I would love to see that. I would love to see the Yankees sweep the Mets. That would be awesome. They could do it. It could happen. They could make it happen. But again, they're going up against lefty starters, and the Yankees have been struggling against lefty starters. So they let's see what they do against the two lefty starters today and tomorrow. They do well against the righty pitchers. They have no problems there, but the lefties are the issue. So we'll just have to wait and see. Yeah, I mean, the people that are in their slumps right now, I mean, it's mainly, obviously, it's DJ LeMahieu. It's Alex Verdugo. He's been struggling a little bit as of late. You could say Juan Soto has been struggling as of late too. There's no denying that. Gleyber Torres, obviously, he's been struggling a lot as of late. Trevino, unfortunately, he's been struggling as of late. Ben Rice so far, I know he just literally got called up, but I like how he's been playing. Davis will be at first and Rice will DH. I did hear about Davis playing first base and Rice DHing. Is that what's happening? Did the Yankees say that? Because I did hear something about Rice is going to be playing first base, which makes sense. Mets are down at bullpen arm and roster spot with Diaz gone. Oh, God, yeah. Freaking Diaz. Oh, my God. Edwin Diaz. What a bum. That's too bad. But what are you going to do? Yeah, I'm not reading predictions there, Snell. I'm saving predictions for the pregame later on today, which I hope to see all of you there. And Torres has been, long season slump. I mean, there's been times where he looks great. He shows flashes, and then all of a sudden he's back to being Gleyber Torres, unfortunately. Oh, Ken prediction. That's a Ken prediction. Okay. Yep. But that's what we got, folks. That's what we got. But I will be slowly wrapping it up. I'll stay on for probably like another 5 minutes or so. we'll wrap up the show. Again, I do appreciate you guys and gals tuning in, joining me on this live stream. It does mean a lot to me. So any support that you all get to this channel is greatly appreciated. So if you haven't yet, please subscribe. Please hit the like button. Share this channel out with anybody you know. I do appreciate it. If you're watching on Twitter or X, come over to YouTube and hit that subscribe button so you can join in on the conversation. It's a good time. We have a good time here. I do a lot of live streams, whether it be the morning live streams that I do on Tuesdays and Thursdays, on Sundays. I do a lot of pregame stuff. I did my first play-by-play on Sunday. I will do another play-by-play again. I don't know when. I do have a player. I am interviewing Jesse Chavez on Monday, July 1st at noon, who is currently pitching for the Atlanta Braves right now. So if you guys can join me on that, that would be amazing. Hope to see you guys there. There's going to be more player interviews, so stay tuned for that. So I got a lot going on. I got a lot planned. So I appreciate all of you for supporting me. Let's get to some more of the comments here. I read that Davis has good numbers against lefties, perhaps a platoon with Rice. Yeah, we talked about it. That's a possibility. Yeah, well, they're teammates. You got to be there for each other. You got to be there for each other. So, men have feelings too, right? Yeah. That Puff interview was I did enjoy it. It was a good interview. Yeah, Jesse Chavez is 40 years young. He's going to turn 41 this year. So his birthday, I don't think is too far off. That guy's been. I definitely have some questions for him. So when I talk to him, I'm looking forward to that interview. So. Yes, indeed. But Wells showed that white guys shouldn't wear do-rags. Wait, I heard that Austin Wells, though, I heard that his grandmother or something is Dominican. I was reading something about that. That's funny. I'm gonna look this up. I think Austin Wells. I heard his grandmother or something was like Dominican. Let me look this up real quick. Hold on. I'm just curious now. Yeah, his father Greg has played baseball, and his mother Michelle of Dominican descent so his mother is Dominican apparently. Yeah, remember reading something about that. So. Yeah. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Yeah, maybe not. I don't know. I don't rock do-rags. Not my thing. I don't know. Let's see. Sunil's saying men's mental health awareness month. Let's let it go. Ranting on a roll down, crying. Well, I'll say this about mental health just in general, and I'll close it out with this. I don't look at the month of June as just being mental health awareness month. I think mental health awareness is something that needs to be acknowledged every day, because it doesn't matter whether it's men or women. Some people suffer through it, throughout their life. It's a lifelong thing for a lot of folks. For some folks, it could be, just temporary, and they gotta go through whatever it is that they're going through, and they hopefully they're seeking help, right? So for me, mental health is something that I recognize every single day. So it's an everyday thing. It's an everyday thing. It's not a month thing. I recognize it every day, and it's not just in the month of June. It's not at a certain time of year. This is an everyday struggle for many. So, just want to point that out. But I am going to close it out, though, folks. Thank you all for coming on. I do greatly appreciate it. You all are amazing. So I do greatly appreciate the support. Thank you all for coming on. If you haven't yet, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, share this channel out with everybody you know. I will see you all later for the pregame. It's going to be let's have some fun. Let's do a little banter. I hope I get some Mets fans in. I hope to get some Mets fans in. Hopefully we can get some Mets fans or attract some Mets fans to come into the chat, because I welcome all fans. So let's make it happen. Let's make it happen. So thank you all for coming on, and I'll see you all later for the pregame.